Hello Team Zug, and today we're back with another custom showcase video. Last time we took a look at the Soda and mainland railway engines, and now we're here with one of the other pre-gripping Soda railways. These are customs I actually finished yesterday, so here they are. The Wellsworth and Suddery engines. Walter, Winnie, Horace and Sonny. Let's start with Walter and Winnie first. So Walter and Winnie are created by the Berry Truck, a fantastic storyteller. Anyways, Walter and Winnie are the numbers 1 and 2 of the Wellsworth and Suddery Railway. Now, the story behind these two, when I make them, is quite interesting, especially for Winnie. I'll explain that in a bit. But first, I want to let you guys know about something. So we all know about the Wellsworth and Suddery Railway as a thing, right? So, like, for a long time, because I don't know when the news about the Wellsworth and Suddery Railway came out. Probably like, I don't know, like the early 2010s or probably on the Isle de Soda forum site or something like that. And for a while, I think at first there was another railway apart from Soda Mainland Railway that was on Soda, like the Wellsworth and Suddery Railway, but we didn't know who run the railway. And I think that's when people made their own fan invitations on what could the railway been like. One YouTuber, Warner Wester, a fantastic YouTuber and trains modeler, actually made his own Wellsworth and Suddery fleet, and they became fan favorites. They are Colin, Lily, and Adam. Yeah, and for a while, everyone agreed that they were the definitive take on the Wellsworth and Suddery Railway until 2022 or 2023, when we finally got the roster of the Wellsworth and Suddery Railway. And it wasn't a Peckett like Colin, it wasn't an LWNR 440 aka Lily, and it's not an Adam's Radio aka Adam. It were 2 Manning Waddles, a sharp Stewart, and a tank engine with 6 wheels and side tanks. Yup. Now, some people were probably a bit upset about it, but however, some people have some creativity. Some people, like Rexel Jet example, made the Manning Waddles Billy and Charlie. However, one person, the Berry Truck, made his own characters, and these characters became so beloved, and basically everyone's starting to wondering, are these the definitive take on the Wellsworth and Suddery Railway? Because don't get me wrong, I love Colin, Lily, and Adam, but if I'm being honest, these guys work much better because the Wellsworth and Suddery Railway was actually a light railway. And I don't know about you, but I don't think an Adam's Radio could fit on the light railway. Yet again, they were able to work Horus, but I'll get to him in a minute. Sorry. Just got a hiccup, sorry. Anyways, let's talk about these two. Let's just get back to the customs. Anyways, so I made these two out of a Take and Play Charlie. One of them is from my childhood, and the other is one I bought from eBay. And I just noticed until after I bought it that the one I bought from eBay, which is the one I used for Winnie, is missing a stepladder. Oh well. Anyways, I painted them blue because I bought blue paint last week. And I just fell in love with it. Now, here's a fun fact, which is kind of frustrating for railway fans. Audrey made a mistake when he said the Manning Waddles were Q classes. However, they didn't exist until 1876, but the Wellsworth and Sonny Railway opened in 1870. Like, there is some class locomotives. Like, the only one with a cab that was out at the time was the old I class. So that's the design that the Berry truck went with. So here's my headcanon. Walter and Winnie were members of the I class, but after 1976, they were rebuilt into the Q class, basically getting new bunkers. Yep, I think this works pretty well. I mean, if Horus could get rebuilt, so can these two. But anyways, I just love their characters, right? Oh yeah, the faces, I use a ticket play Edward and Rosie faces. I think the Rosie face turned out great for Winnie, since Winnie has freckles just like Rosie. I was actually considering giving Walter freckles, but I decided against it. Oh yeah, fun fact, for some reason, I don't know, because the coal bunkers are out of edge clay, but Winnie's front is a bit tilted, so I just filled up edge clay, and she looks much better. So yeah, Walter and Winnie, I love these two to death. Let's move on to my personal favourite character. Horus, the sharp stewart. Now, Horus is interesting. His main body right here was made out of a Donald, and the tender is from Douglas, the 2010 variant of them, if I say so myself. And I use air drying clay for the side tanks. I cut the cab, like the things supporting the cab a bit, and just reshaped it and cut the dome and make a new one. And I gotta say, oh yeah, I also made some custom outside cylinders because, fun fact, Horus is the only engine on the Wellsworth and Sonny Railway that we know of to have outside cylinders. Horus is my personal favorite character from the Berry truck. I just love his character development and growth. And I just think the idea of Horus used to be a tank engine, right? Just picture having a bunker here and no cab, right? That's basically Horus's real design. And ironically, him as a tank engine is far too heavy for the Wellsworth and Suddery tracks, which is actually a bit funny, but also a bit accurate to real life, because I think the sharp stewards have this problem. And so, remember I said about Adam can't really work technically unless the rails got remade? Yeah, this is kind of the case for Horus. Like, I think Horus is like the biggest, like the heaviest engine the Wellsworth and Sonny Railway could ever get. So yeah, yeah. His face is from a wooden railway Proteus face that I just have lying around. And I only got it because of the nose, because Horus has a big nose, and Proteus' face looks like he has a big nose, so I went, that could work. Unlike the other two, Walter and Winnie, which the faces are glued, Horus's face is hold up with blue tack, so if I want to make the tank engine variant, I could just swap the faces around. Don't know if I will make the tank engine variant. I want to. It's just, I'll just have to cut the cab and I had to start over again. Now let's talk about the tender for a second. The tender was made from a Douglas tender. Yeah, I managed to get rid of the middle wheel, which actually damaged the front by somewhat put back together. Sadly, the back wheels don't turn anymore because I was filling the gaps with air drying clay and I accidentally glued the wheel, just like my ticket play Matthew custom before this. Well, still runs, barely, but he still runs. Yeah, I really love Horus. Like, he's my favorite character from the Horace and Sonny. Like, these three are an iconic trio. So yeah. So let's move on to number 4. Sonny. Now, let's talk about Sonny real quick. Sonny is a terrier. Well, he's number 4 of the Wellsworth and Sonny Railway. He's the only character that's not created by the Berry truck. Rather, his model is actually a trains model made by Mad Max, who also made the models for Walter, Winnie, and Horus. he made the number 4 and decided to use Stepney's basis the terriers because I guess we want a terrier on Sodor. And this kind of works because terriers are light engines, just like the Manning Waddles, and to an extent the Sharp Stewarts in a weird way. So I think it would make sense if they got their own terrier. Like, of all the engines that could be available, the terriers worked so much good. Like, yeah. So, where did the name Sonny came from? Well, I actually watched this audio of the Current Skate Fire. It has Walter here. Walter dies in that video. He shouted, "Winnie! Horace! Sonny!" Which I thought it could mean the Thomas and Friends season 24 character Sonny. But I always assumed, because I don't remember who made that video. Great audio, by the way. Anyways, and I had the crazy idea. What if the number 4, the Wellsworth suddery, isn't Sonny from season 24 of Thomas? Rather, it's the name of the terrier number 4. Now, I actually really like this. Now, unfortunately, it does break the trend of the Wellsworth suddery engines having 6 letters in the name, but I don't really care. It's a lovely name. I like Sonny. So here's how I made him. Painted blue, modified the front, and yeah, because Sonny's actually an older terrier, like the first batch. So here's my headcanon for Sonny. So when Horus here was going to get rebuilt into a tender engine, even though he would have been rebuilt in 1912, but let's just say he got rebuilt 30 years prior. So yeah, so the Wellsworth suddery needed a new engine. So Mr. Caffrey, the controller, purchased a terrier. He asked a terrier to be constructed at Brighton Works. The terrier was built. His name's Sonny. He was sent all the way to Southampton docks and shipped over to Brendam docks since there was no bridge to, the Sodor had no bridge to the mainland. Sonny is a quiet engine. He doesn't really talk much. He's actually very shy. He likes to be nice and quiet. At first, Walter and Winnie felt uneasy about him, but they get along, and maybe Sonny might speak. He likes to speak. He only speaks to the ones that he's close with, and he likes to take life nice and easy. What a good character. I actually want to make audio stories about Sonny, so keep an eye out for that. And there we have it, guys. The Wellsworth and Suddery engines, according to me. I hope you find this custom showcase video very enjoyable. Oh yeah, I just wanted to point out something I forgot to mention about Horus. I just like here's the thing about Horus's rebuild, right? There are 2 versions. Him as a tender, but he keeps the side tanks, or one without the side tanks, because there's 2 variants of the Sharp Stewarts with being rebuilt to tender engines. I think he did keep the tanks because, well, it was shown in the photo. But yeah, again, that's the photo that only existed. But I like the idea that a tank engine being built to a tender engine keeps the side tanks, because they actually do exist. Not just for the Sharp Stewarts. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I sure have. If you like it, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I wonder what my next video is going to be about. Oh, it's on.